What's going on, everybody? RBL Weekly, the final week of the regular season. We will find out today who makes the playoffs in that fourth and final spot. I'm the Roast Battle League Commissioner, Pat Barker, joined by the creator and host of the Roast Battle, Mr. Brian Moses.
New studio!
Another week, another studio. This is...
I'm going to say it every week. We get a new studio.
The traveling... I think this is like our 8th or 9th studio of the season.
This feels good, yeah. This is our second time at the Austin location, but they have a new studio now. So, yeah, everybody just keeps expanding in this Roast Battle universe.
It's unbelievable.
Metaverse.
Yeah. But we're back in Austin. By the time you see this, we will be out of here. Tonight, we are running another sold-out show at the Comedy Mothership. I believe that's 12 for the year, something like that?
Roast Battle League! 11th show of the year. We're hoping to get a 12th to make it a clean, 12 days and 12 months. But right now it's just 11. But we'll see. We'll see. This is the tentative last Austin RBL of the year in 2023.
Well, whether it's the last one or not, we'll be back either in December or next year with a whole bunch more. It's been a great, home to us to come down here and have these are the events where we can get everybody from all over the world and throw them in the ring together.
Yeah,
and
where everybody wants to be. This is like the Madison Square Garden of Roast Battle. This is the Disneyland. Everyone wants to be here, the destination.
Mm-hmm.
People are coming from all over the world. Battlers are coming from all over the world. We love this. This is exciting for us.
Yeah, it's been incredible. And for the RBL season, it wraps up today with this podcast.
This is it.
Let's before we get into the battles, let's pull up the standings coming into this week for the United States, just so we can look at. Now, this was last week's standings,
Hoorah.
just to refresh where we're at. That second playoff spot, New York, 2 points ahead of Chicago, 3.5 ahead of Austin. What this means, basically, Austin needs a little bit of a miracle. They need a top 2 battle, and they need New York and Chicago to cooperate and not put up a good battle this week. Chicago's 2 points back. They can catch New York. We could have a tie at the end of this. We might be looking at a week 35 tiebreaker. That could potentially be in play. Or New York could just handle business, post a top 2 battle, and close this thing out.
Look at you with the narrative, the little foreshadowing. Ooh. By the way, these are 3 of the most dangerous cities in America. I feel like if Austin had maybe some more black people in its metropolitan area, it might be a better roasting city.
Yeah. Where are all the black people here?
They moved them out. They gentrified in about 2004, according to Gary Clark Jr. He said they got rid of the black people. They moved them up to the north, and that's where they've been since like the 2000s. Ever since Taylor Swift started taking over the charts.
Sure, yeah.
Like in the mid-aughts.
Yeah.
Got rid of the black people in Austin.
They just bust them to Houston?
Yeah. No, Houston. No. North Austin.
No, so they're still in Austin, but they're...
Yeah, like Georgetown, Round Rock, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not as familiar with the geography, but...
All you got to say is ski, you'll find them.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was about to say. Well, What do you say we get into some battles this week?
Hell yeah.
And we are going to start with the number 5 city, and we start by immediately eliminating one of the playoff contenders because the number 5 battle this week comes to us from Chicago. Chicago's run, they were about 10 points back a few weeks ago. They made a hell of a run at that number 2 playoff spot, but they only pick up 1 point this week, which means best case scenario, they're going to finish 1 behind New York. Let's get into it. The number 5 battle this week, it's Brandon Kiefer versus Gabriel Alviso. Here it is.
Yo, Brandon looks like he was breastfed Miller High Lifes until he was a teenager. His mom never gave him a pacifier. She just stuck a cigarette in his mouth and told him to shut the fuck up.
Nice.
I think that he just said ice, you fucking racist little bitch.
No, I'll call ice. I said nice. You Mexican barista. He's a barista, dude, because he thinks he's too good to work in the kitchen with the rest of his family. He's the first person in his family to get to work the register. It's historical. You coffee beaner.
That's funny because Brandon looks like the line cook that the Mexican line cooks talk shit about in Spanish, you know?
You talking about the owner of the restaurant?
You look like you lost your virginity in a Jimmy John's, so shut the fuck up. Dude.
You look like you worked at the Jimmy John's I lost my virginity in.
Yeah, because I fucking fucked you, bitch. Dude,
with a fucking $12 sandwich.
it's hard for him to scrounge up $12. So Brandon's from the South, and he's getting a divorce, which makes me really sad because I hate to watch siblings argue.
Wow.
Yeah. Brandon,
I am going through a divorce. Your family doesn't believe in it. So your dad did the noble thing. He didn't divorce his wife. He just died of alcoholism. Oh, can I do it again? I'll do it later.
I think Brandon is literally dying of alcoholism right now. That is crazy.
Call me Dad then.
Dude,
I'll say this. Your shitty jokes ain't gonna bring your dad back, bud. All right.
Hey, Brandon's wedding was actually catered by Potbelly. Yeah, Potbelly is also what they used to call his mom in high school.
Wow. You're a 30-year-old graffiti artist. Wait, let me do the joke.
What a fucking snitch.
Let me do the joke, dude. He's a 30-year-old graffiti artist, but really he just tags his name in men's bathrooms with his phone number.
Dude,
he tags trains and his mom gets trains ran on her, okay? All right, too dark. I apologize, everybody. Edit that out for TikTok, please.
Brandon's mom was actually going to get an abortion, but she missed her appointment because the show Cops was having a marathon on TV that day.
Yeah, we love watching your family with their antics. Yo, Gabe constantly brags about being molested by his uncle, to the point where I think it's the last time he got his dick touched. He'll get drunk still to this day at night and text his uncle, "Are you up?"
Yeah. Brandon goes to the back of a Home Depot to hire Mexicans to fuck his wife, so.
You hipster Mexican, I'd never hire your lazy ass. You fucking dirty immigrant hipster Mexican. You probably came to this country on a fixed gear.
Jesus Christ.
You're the kind of guy that would gentrify Humboldt Park.
With your cut-off jean shorts.
All right. You're as Mexican as buying a piñata from Target, dude.
That's awesome. I love this. If you guys want to watch more of Brandon, go on YouTube and search the final season of To Catch a Predator. So.
And if you want to find Gabe, go on YouTube and you won't.
That's great. That's so good.
He's got a style.
He does. We're going to talk about it.
You graffiti artist. I hope Trump builds a wall. I hope he builds a wall so you can tag it from the other side.
Brandon's just mad because his wife left him for a Mexican, because you gotta hire a Mexican to get the job done. So.
Wow.
All right, shut up, Lord of the Ringworms.
Lord of the Rings. You're literally the only Mexican I don't want in this country.
Brandon's zodiac sign is actually just a swastika, so. Brandon acts like he's racist, but he's not even that racist. He just pretends to be so he can make his dad proud. Yeah. I've seen Brandon shake hands with black people. He's really good at it. Yeah. He has a hard time shaking hands with white people. He goes for a fist bump, they go for the Zig Heil. Yeah.
Was that all of it?
Yeah. Half the women in your family look like Sons of Anarchy characters, so shut the fuck up.
Half the women in your family look like me.
No.
The other half of the women are just men in your family, so that is, all right, are we done?
Yeah, probably.
Brandon was going to be a school
more.
shooter, but he actually didn't shoot up the school because his uncle was using the family musket that day.
Gabe is pansexual, or what we call desperate where I'm from. He'll fuck anybody that can hold down.
Brandon's wife got half of everything in the divorce, so now she has $11 and 2 PBRs. Yo, Brandon looks like he opens propane tanks with his teeth, dude. Yo,
You look like you bring it to my truck.
dude, maybe instead of storming the Capitol, you should have stormed a dentist's office.
Wow.
Brandon thought that January 6th was a family reunion he wasn't invited to. Brandon's a gay little bitch.
Gabe sells Tylenol because it's the only drug someone else in his family doesn't sell.
Brandon takes fentanyl to fall asleep.
You take fentanyl to put your girlfriend to bed.
At least my girlfriend isn't my cousin.
My cousin wouldn't fuck you.
Give it up for them, everybody. Oh, shit.
So there it is, the number 5 battle of the week, Chicago. Much like last week, which also featured Gabe Alviso, 2 weeks in a row for Gabe on the podcast. I sense that there could be some controversy about that. That's a really tough battle to rank. There's a lot going on there. I mean, these are two of the guys that I hate to say it this way. They say everything that pops into their heads.
Right.
There's just a lot of that kind of energy. So when I saw these guys on the bill, this is exactly what I expected. I think it just becomes like a preference thing. Let me ask you, when you watch that battle, it had really high highs, crazy crowd energy, a lot of punches landed, but also a lot of punches thrown. I wouldn't say that the percentage of connecting was as high as some of the other battles.
Right.
Do you think it's like diminishing returns after a while, or do you just say, let them fucking go?
Or battles like that, I've seen a lot of those battles, and you've been through some of those battles with me. They're tough, man, because you don't want to stop it because you're like, well, it seems to be landing still. The crowd seems to like it still, so there's still shots being landed. But at one point, you're like, all right, we've heard all these jokes. I mean, if anything, Brandon's just like it's just doing the old when you're a comic like that hack trick of like if a heckler comes and says something, you just repeat it. And just kind of reverse it. I was like, Gabe was heckling him through the whole thing. He's just repeating everything Gabe was saying. He's just like, well, my mom wouldn't, or my cousin wouldn't, or I wouldn't. You're just like, all right, we're just doing like tricks right now. Like,
right.
Yeah.
And then laughing really hard at his own shit.
His own jokes, yeah. And everybody's like,
yeah. I mean, there's no denying that. Like, it was a big hit in the room. The crowd loved it. But I think when you sit down and you watch like the ranking committee does, like 10 battles back to back. By the time you get to this, halfway through the battle, you're like, you could end it right here, and we would have an incredible battle. And then it's almost like diminishing returns after a little while. We also, we constantly have a debate when we go over these battles because a couple people feel like that steamroll kind of style that Brandon Kiefer does is unsportsmanlike, or they have their own opinions on the decorum of it. I don't care as much about that. I think that I grew up in Philly, right? I watched Iverson.
Correct.
You see Iverson scored 38, and you're like, oh, great game. And then you look, and he was like 9 for 31, and you're like, oh, I don't know about that. So I'm really cognizant of like the percentage of punches landed.
I feel that too. It's almost like that. Zach LaVine had a game like that the other night in the NBA, right, where he had like 50 points and no assists. Right? Like Donovan Mitchell's done the same thing, but Zach LaVine loses. You know what I mean? I don't know who won this battle, but for the most part, Brandon's doing this thing where he's just jabbing to death of just, like steamrolling and kind of like, Gabe is saying something, trying to get as many jokes in, but it's also Gabe's going over the joke limit at that point. So at that point, it's whatever you guys are doing at this point, it's all off limits. So let's just see who wins.
Yeah, and then, there's two different ways you can win, right? You got Gabe versus Brandon. Mm-hmm. That's the battle, just the battle, right? And Brandon, his strategy is very effective to win battles. As far as winning the war, which is putting up the points, which is getting your team to the playoffs, this is a new thing.
Right.
People, do you even think about that? Do you just go in, try to win the battle, and let everything else fall where it may? I'm not sure there's a right answer. I think as we get into next season and the season after, I think cities are going to adapt their strategies a little bit.
And these are two like city favorites, by the way, like Brandon Kiefer and Gabe Alviso. These are like two of like the best that Chicago has.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah. And we've seen, I think this is Gabe's 5th appearance on the podcast this season, which is crazy.
And maybe that puts him in the MVP race for Chicago.
Absolutely. And at least 3 for Brandon. And 2 of the best battlers, but just when you see those two names next to each other, you're like, I'm going to pack a snack because we're going to be here for a while.
They have different styles. They do like to steamroll people. That's kind of their thing of just like whatever pops in my head, I'm going to come up with it because I know it's going to hit the crowd as quick as possible, right? Because they're riffers. They riff real well, right? So if styles make fights, that was very similar. And for the most part, I don't even know who to give it to because Gabe was just going with just jokes he was thinking of, and then Brandon was just riffing off of the jokes that Gabe was giving to him. Gabe was like, I'm going with everything I wrote. and Brandon's just like, whatever you're gonna say, I'm just gonna flip it on you, man.
Yeah.
So at that point, I don't know who wins. So I'm glad this is the number 5 instead of like a number 3 or 4, because I'd be like, it feels like we could have almost like missed this one this week.
Right, for sure. Last thought on this one before we move on, and I just had this thought. I happen to think the most effective strategy for battling Brandon Kiefer at this point is write 7 killer jokes and don't say a word beyond that. Just hit the jokes and then let him, the rope-a-dope, let him tire himself out with all the riffing. I would probably get smoked using that as a strategy, but I think that's what I would do.
Yeah, because he's just waiting for you to say something so he can just pounce on it.
Yeah.
So like if you don't say anything, like what's he gonna do? He has nothing at that point.
Yeah, whenever Gabe played his game, that was where Brandon, I felt like, built up steam. All right, well, let's keep it moving this week, and we'll stay in the States. The number 4 battle. Now, for the rest of these, here's where we're at.
Yeah.
If the next battle is Austin, they're done.
Okay.
If Austin's number 3, they're done. If they're number 2, Austin needs a top 2 battle.
Damn.
To have any shot.
Okay.
So if it's about to be Austin, their season's about to be over. It's not. It's Denver. Denver in the number 4 position this week. They're out of the playoff race, but they sent in a battle featuring two favorites, 2 people you've seen on the pod with number 1 battles in the past. It's the number 4 battle this week. This is Adam Gilliland versus Noah Seal. Here it is.
Battle! Let's fucking go.
Guys, I remember the first time I ever saw Noah Seal. He was on TV asking an owl how many licks it takes to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop.
I don't get that one at all. Adam, you have enormous ears. You're like if Dumbo was a retarded giraffe. His ears actually came in handy in Alabama, where he's from, because he was an excellent hunter. I mean, he could hear an immigrant coming from a mile away.
You guys know who y'all are. Yeah, guys, Noah is he's in high school. He's a high schooler. And he's got a nickname in his high school. It's Lil Tardy. And it's not because he's late.
Hell yeah. Adam's the type of guy to say geez Louise when he comes and yeehaw when he shoots up a school.
It's good. Yeah, Noah goes to a special high school where he's majoring in creative writing, which I think is smart because he's going to be writing a lot of white girls' names on Starbucks cups when he's older.
Adam, you're the tallest man with Down syndrome I've ever met. He actually developed this body from years of hanging from tree branches to see into girls' bathrooms at my school. Yeah.
Guys, thank you, Noah. Guys, Noah recently took a 23andMe. It came back 33% snap, 33% crackle, and 33% pop. And 1% gay.
Stupid.
Adam recently got hired by Border Patrol to peek over the wall to make sure no Mexicans are coming. That's the whole joke. That's it. Yeah.
Boy, with your nappy ass head of hair, you look like a LGBT Q-tip.
Yeah. Adam recently found out that his ancestors owned slaves. His own parents would force black kids around the neighborhood to play basketball with him.
There's
right.
get
Make
into
it loud for these two. Holy shit. Holy shit. The show has finally started, everyone.
Can we do it?
You guys got it? We got one more joke. Adam went first. We got Noah going first in overtime. Let's get some energy back in the room for these two. Battle. Adam, you talk like if a KKK horse could speak. You look like your accounting firm owns slaves.
Man, you look like you go to sleep with a RuPaul nightlight.
Wide right, make it loud for these two. We're not gonna go until one lands. Okay, if you guys really feel like you can pull it out, let's fucking go. Yeah. Adam's going first in double overtime. Make it loud for these two.
Give it up for Neville Dongbottom, everybody. Noah kind of looks like the only member of the Quidditch team that rides the broom horizontally instead of vertically.
That's funny. You look like Forrest Gumby. Fuck yeah, wide right, one more time, make it loud.
All right, so that was the number 4 battle this week, coming to us from Denver. Very different from Chicago. The energy. One thing that's crazy is like when you sit there and you watch like 10 of these, right? You process them a little bit differently than you do kind of like in the room, because like I might watch Denver and then 5 other cities and then Chicago, and it's tough to compare kind of the thing you saw an hour ago. Watching them back to back. That's a tough placement. I think when you screw up, you can come out and admit it. And I don't think this was better than Chicago. It scored more points across the ballots, but
It was a little more, I wouldn't say more entertaining. That's not the right word. But it felt, I don't know, there was more of a narrative, right? Like there's a high schooler versus a very tall adult who's not trying to curse at him or say anything like, too like harsh. It was a clean battle for the most part.
It was. It wasn't that it was bad. Noah, I mean, I'm not going to break down the roasting skills of a 15-year-old.
Right.
I mean, my God.
By the way, just like he's getting him off. I mean, like, yeah, the joke structure is there. I mean, the punches weren't as big, but for the most part, the fact that he's already got the structure in there, like, in 15 years, Noah's going to be a monster.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, no doubt. And in 3 years, he's going to be a monster.
Yeah, we'll be working for Noah in 3 years.
Exactly. And Adam Gilliland is one of my favorite writers that we've come across this season. He's really, really good. I thought he was in control of this battle. I don't think the overtimes were necessary. And I think if you're Noah, you're like, I lost and I don't have anything else. Can I just go home?
It really felt like a tall person going like this to a short person. They're just going like this the whole time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, Josh?
So yeah, I mean, just completely different energy. What are your thoughts overall on kind of the season that Denver had?
I thought they made, as far as rookies of the year kind of a thing, not saying that it's our first inaugural season, so everybody's a rookie. But Denver kind of came in, like last for us, right? Like we didn't really have them in the league, and then they came out of nowhere, and they had this great production quality. They have this great scene down there. They have the venue that they've grown out of now from Wide Right to now the Denver Improv kind of a thing. I think Denver is my most improved city and my rookies of the year, honestly.
Yeah, definitely like almost like an expansion team.
Right.
You're like, all right, it's going to take a few years for them to figure it out, but the bright spots have been really bright. Every time they send somebody down here to Austin, they crush it. So a great season out of them, and looking forward to seeing what they do.
To Pizza, Gilliland,
yeah.
Spaghetti Jake,
yeah.
they have the weirdest names.
Evan Joe, their current
Joe's
champion. Devesh Patel, who's making his mothership debut tonight.
Yeah.
It's going to be good, and really like what they've done this season. And congratulations to them on finishing the season strong with a number 4 battle. Well, now we get into number 3, and if it's Austin, they're eliminated.
Okay.
It's Los Angeles.
Oh, the number 1 seed.
The number 1 seed picks up.
Overall.
Yes, the number 1 overall seed picks up an extra 3 points this week. This was a battle we were both in the room for. We're going to watch it just to refresh your memory. This is from two LA favorites. This is Julian Fernandez versus Bear Badeau. It's the number 3 battle this week. Here it is.
Let's get this started. I know Julian has to get back to his ambitiously gay Joe Dojo over there, you know. Julian, how the fuck do you look like all of Jeff Dunham's puppets?
Wow. We need a light. One light in that room.
Guys, keep it going for Larry, the can't afford cable guy.
You're welcome. I got you.
His name really is Bear, but let's be honest, doesn't he look more like a possum?
Good one. I loved you as the lead singer of Cage the Immigrant.
Number 1 album, baby.
Julian is Mexican, but he does not identify as a man, and he doesn't speak Spanish. Yeah, you're a lot like Taco Bell. You know, you got that label, but none of you's authentic.
As you can tell by looking at him, Bear's all business in the front and assaulting women in the back. Bear looks like he hugs women just to sniff them.
Beautifully said. Senorita Seagal over here. You know, you've had 3 suicide attempts. Yeah. And not one person tried to stop you from doing that to your hair?
Someone just died in the audience. Like Bear said, I am non-binary, which is weird because Bear's the one who looks like he's transitioning into a lesbian bowler.
Yeah. Meanwhile, you're over there transitioning to a butch-ass rooster. You look like a butch-ass rooster that's definitely sucked a cockadoodle or 2.
Let's go.
Good thing you said that joke twice.
Oh, you like the word butch-ass rooster, I'm sorry.
Thank you. Bear's ex-wife is in a wheelchair. I thought they were a perfect couple because Bear loves eating roadkill.
Mic drop.
Yeah, you know, your pronouns remind me of my ex-wife because I don't give a shit and I'm not using them anymore. Dude, you're so fucking creepy when you're talking like that. You look like the guy that puts the lotion in the basket right after he weaves the basket.
Bear, how can you tell me that I'm creepy? You look like when you come, you have to say, "Hell yeah, brother!"
Hey, I say get her done. That's fucked up, all right?
Like I said, Bear's wife is in a wheelchair and he has a dog with 3 legs, so you know he has a type.
That's why I chose to battle you.
That's it.
Number 3 battle this week, LA, Julian Fernandez, Bear Badeau. Kind of the perfect middle ground between the previous 2 battles. Felt tighter, felt smoother, quicker. The majority of the jokes landed. Boy, if you think those jokes are good now, imagine if we had one light in that room and you could actually see them.
I was gonna say, yeah, that's tough. I'm sorry, LA. We have to do better for you guys to see those because I was in that room and that battle was electrifying. And then seeing it back now, I thought Julian had like destroyed that battle. Looking back now, Bear had some really well written jokes as just like as a symphony. I can see it now. Like the 5 jokes he wrote for that was like, oh, you had a whole theme going on, man. That was. Honestly, yeah, but if you would have heard it instead of just like the breaking up of the laughter and applause, you would understood that. But yeah.
It's been one of my biggest takeaways this season is just how things translate differently in the room versus on camera.
Yeah.
Everybody in that room thought that Julian dominated. I was sitting there like, God damn, dude, he murdered that.
I thought Bear was regressing.
Man. Yeah. No, you watch it back and you're like, that was way, way, way closer than I realized.
If anything, yeah, Julian got lucky with that last joke, the mic drop joke he had. That was the one I was like, okay, that might have like put it over the top. But ultimately, Bear was more consistent.
Yeah, I mean, I think you could argue that. I think it was you know, it was a great battle. It was really close. Really good joke writing from both of them. It does suck that it's so dark and such a visual battle. You know what I mean? Like,
Exactly,
it's
yeah.
the one battle where like they're both like, he looks like a possum, and it's like, look at your haircut, and we could barely even see him.
Right. Yeah, just so you guys know, yeah, one does look like an opossum and one does look like a trans version of Steven Seagal.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the jokes were absolutely
Whatever you think that looks like, that's what it was. Joe Dirt versus Steven Seagal as a woman.
No, it was on point from both of them. It wraps up a really good season from LA, and also, but you know, we've had a couple of moments already this podcast where I have just been like, Jesus Christ. When Kiefer called Gabe a dirty immigrant, then
my God.
when he's like, I don't give a shit, I'm done using my ex-wife.
I was like, whoa.
Wow.
The reveal on that
Wow.
one, man.
Yeah.
Ex-Miss Badeau.
Yeah, Jesus
Had no
Christ.
idea about her.
That was, you know, I would imagine divorce is tough. And, you know, you probably say some things that sound psychotic on a podcast.
Yeah, or in a roast battle around all your peers and friends.
Yeah, or in this case, both.
Yeah. Good job, Barry.
But LA wraps up their season. They're the #1 overall seed. They will be going for the roast battle championship in a few short months at a secret location on a secret date.
So wait, so when it comes to MVPs and who gets out of these cities, is it between 2 people or is it between 5 people?
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna get a ballot. A handful of people are gonna get a ballot, and they are gonna have the opportunity, just like if you're voting for, you know, the NBA MVP, you're gonna make your list of, you know, 5 or 10 or whatever the number ends up being.
Is it ranked choices or am I just?
We'll tally. Yeah, we'll tally the points. Same way we do it on the podcast. Number 1 is worth 5 or whatever it ends up being. I think in some cities it's a more clear-cut race. We could have it down to 1, 2, or 3, and then in other cities like Chicago could be a dozen people. So. We'll be revealing all the MVPs shortly in coming episodes. Even though the season is over, we're not done recording RBL weeklies. We will be getting into the playoff preview. We'll be talking some hot stove in the offseason. We'll be naming our MVPs. We'll be going over all that, doing some best of the year. We'll be getting into all that. Yeah, that's going to be coming up next week. We will be revealing the 4 MVPs that will be repping their cities at the championship. So we'll start with that.
Yeah, I gotta be. LA's the most tenured, right? So it's a biased favorite of mine. But then you got to go. New York is, you know, one of the more dangerous cities because of their style and the way they write, and you know, just the joke writing they have over in New York. And then Chicago, I just got to say, is probably for production purposes the most polished.
Yes.
But my favorite new city I've seen in roast battle. I mean, like they're very dangerous, right? Austin's probably my favorite because they have a lot of good characters in their battle scene, and then Denver, obviously my rookie of the years. But yeah, I would say I'm hoping Austin gets in this top 3, man. Give me the top 2. Come on, Austin.
Well, here we go. We're getting into the number 2. Now, here's how this works. If this one is Austin,
Come on, Austin.
If this one is Austin and New York is not number 1, Austin will advance. If this is New York, Austin is done. It's Toronto. Number 2 this week. Number 2 this week is Toronto. Hell of an end of the season run for them. 3 weeks in a row they've been on the show. This is their highest ranked battle of the year. I believe it's their first number 2, and it features a guy that will likely be the front runner for Toronto MVP. Coming into the battle, Hershawn Aurora was 6-1, including a win down here at the Mothership last month. He's been on the podcast a few times, and he's going up against somebody we haven't seen before. This is Hershawn Aurora versus Jerry Hall. It's number 2 this week. Here it is.
Yes! Oh my god! You look like someone went on ChatGPT and typed divorce dad. Roasting a little man is the closest he's gonna get to having custody. So
this is Hershawn, everyone. His pronouns are Gary or Steve or whatever white name he uses on the phone trying to rip off your grandparents. I tried to get information on him, but he didn't send it. I had to get it from Homeland Security. I couldn't find out how tall he was, but looking at him, I'd say he's about 9'11".
if you look up racist in the dictionary, Jerry will shoot you for trying to educate yourself. like a Coors Light came to life, you know? The only thing he loves more than drinking silver bullets is putting them in minorities, you know?
Hershon, although he was born in Mississauga, he actually likes all the well-known Indian team sports for men, cricket, soccer, and his favorite, gang bus rape.
Jesus Christ. Bus rape is wild.
It's a team sport.
But don't judge him because obviously he could never pull off individual rape.
But you definitely could. Yeah. We're gonna do jokes about teams. Let's do jokes about teams. You can tell people from Hamilton are stupid because they named their football team the Tiger Cats. That's like saying their favorite beverage is the Bud Light beer, you know? That's like saying their biggest problem is the rapist Jerry's, you know? Like it's the fucking same thing, you know? You look like a middle school football coach who showers with the kids, you know?
He does look like
He
that.
does look like that.
Speaking of,
You cannot see it.
Let him laugh, Jerry. I'm killing.
I just want to warn the ladies here to make sure that they watch their drinks. Not because you'll roofie it, it's just you might use the straw as a fleshlight. I'm just kidding, he'll roofie you. Actually, he gets really upset about the character Apu from The Simpsons because A, it gives the false stereotype that Indian guys could ever be on TV. And he's also pissed off because no one has ever thanked him and asked him to come again.
If you couldn't tell by that last joke, Jerry is one of the biggest fans of The Simpsons, which is weird because when you see him in person, you're like, what? This guy hates people with yellow skin. This guy looks like fucking Crack Nicholson, bro. What the hell are you doing here?
All right. Well, I mean, Hershon lost his. He didn't sleep with a girl until he was 27, which is one of the nicest things he's actually ever done for women. Actually, like he would consider himself a champion of women's rights, except there's no Indian word for it. And I gotta admit, I kind of understand why it took him so long to lose his virginity. It's hard to impress a woman at dinner when you're sitting in a booster seat.
Yeah. I know, I'm so small. I look like the child you're gonna abduct after the show, you know? Buddy, Jerry is all of the worst parts of Canada. You know what I mean? Yeah, his face is Alberta. Yeah, because it's oily and racist. Okay?
It's not oily.
His dick is the Yukon because nobody wants to go there. And his wife is Quebec because she just wants to leave him, you know?
Can't believe you made a dick joke. Like, I'm sorry, man, but your dick being that small, the irony of it is you know where the clit is, you just can't reach it. Vertically or horizontally. Okay. But Hershon now, he does have a girlfriend, all right? And like most Indian guys, his girlfriend is 10. Sorry. She couldn't be here tonight because those Prada handbags aren't going to sew themselves. I think this is it.
Yeah,
And,
all right.
Well, no, I got. Okay. No, you know what? Forget it.
All right. Just like they will about you after the show. Okay, we're gonna end it off on a dark one. Jerry was molested by his brother.
Oh, ew.
That's the sound he made when he put it in.
Said ew.
Up. Do it again. Jerry was molested by his brother. He's married to his sister. And he looks like he's pregnant with their baby. Clearly, incest is the only thing that runs in your family.
All right, well, it's fair. No, he started, didn't he? So I get one. All right, last joke. Okay, well, first of all, I'm not going to make any family sex jokes because I've never had sex with Hershon's mom because I hate waiting in lines. I mean, maybe I should have, because then she'd have a child she'd actually love. But then it would probably be sacrilegious because in India they worship cows, they don't fuck them. But I will say though that Hershon and his girlfriend are big fans of the Kama Sutra. He likes it because of the positions. She likes it because it's a picture book and she can't read yet.
So there it is, the number 2 battle this week, coming to us from Toronto, Hershon Aurora versus Jerry Hall. Textbook roast battle shit, right? If we were teaching like an instructional course, that's kind of it, right? The white guy is like abducting kids and, you know, the Indian guy is, you know, the sacred cows and all that kind of shit. We hit some familiar territory, but I thought they had some really like creative angles on it that we haven't heard before. I really like this battle.
No, it was a very good Hitler versus Gandhi battle. I really appreciated it. Yeah, it was a lot of, it was a classic roast battle of, yes, racism versus pedophilia.
Yep.
You know, which is a white guy versus any minority.
Any of them.
Yeah. So it was, in that sense, it brought me back, and it was a lot of fun. But some jokes I hadn't heard before from a pedophile or racist wise. I learned a lot of things about Jerry and Hershon. I've seen Hershon before; he's very funny.
Yeah.
But that was fun from Jerry. That it was unassuming. Jerry felt like Fred Willard trying to roast battle.
That's perfect. Holy shit. Yes.
Yeah, but Hershon probably had that essence joke of the night that you love so much. The essence joke.
Yeah.
The essence of somebody, which is you look like you look like a middle school football coach who takes showers with the kids.
With
I
the
mean,
kids.
he looks just like that Sandusky character.
Yeah. I will say though, on the other side of it, gang bus rape as a team sport is wild. That's was an insane punchline. Yeah. Insane thing to say. And I really enjoy. I think that's fucking hilarious. Gang bus rape is
I
very
haven't
funny
heard
to me.
a good Indian bus rape joke in forever.
I think honestly one of the flaws that I see from watching so many of these battles is people just using rape as a punchline, and it's really easy to do that in a lazy way. And I see a ton of it. A lot of it doesn't make it onto the pod, but there's a lot of jokes where the punchline is just rape, and this was one of the more creative ones. I felt like
creative rape jokes. That's what we do here.
If there's any better way to sum up our brand in 3 words, I don't know what it is.
Ladies are the best. Pedophile jokes go hard, and creative rape jokes.
Yeah, exactly. Those are the three tenets of roast battle. Toronto number 2 this week. Which brings us to number 1. It is now time.
Come on, Austin!
To settle this once and for all. If it's Austin, they're in. If it's any other city, it's New York. The number 1 battle this week comes to us from New York City. New York not only makes it to the playoffs, but they earn their way in with the number 1 battle this week.
How you do it?
So there's no controversy. They didn't back in thanks to somebody else's help. This should eliminate all potential complaints. You know, if Chicago, even if you're Chicago, if you had been number 1 this week, at best, it would have just pushed New York to number 2. They still would have mathematically won. New York leaving, no doubt. This is exactly how you want to close out the season, making a statement on your way into the playoffs. Congratulations to New York. It's the number 1 battle this week. It is their current champion, John Ajota, going up against Rob Rigo. Here it is.
Let's roast! All right, yeah! All right, I don't roast a lot, but I am in the military, so it's not my first time roasting a brown man, so let's do this. John's a great roaster. He's one of the best in the city. I'm a little worried about him. He's about to do a bunch of jokes and make fun of my hairline and all my accomplishments. But just remember that John has a boring job, and the only reason he's here is because he got really good at one obscure form of comedy that favors heavily autistic people. All right?
Facts.
Proceed.
Yeah, if you just keep talking, eventually you'll find something funny. Like those WMDs in Iraq. But listen, guys, Rob owns this fucking place, so I just want to give it up to him for letting us have Roasted here at Grove 34, because if this place didn't exist, we'd be forced to perform roast battles at venues that people actually respect. I actually, just before I get started, I want to say I got an interesting text from my sister yesterday. She received a message on LinkedIn.
This didn't work out. This would have been so good.
Hi, Mary Jane. This is a very non-standard message. My name is Rodrigo, and I'm in a capital R roast battle with your brother John. He's a good friend. One of the best roasters in comedy right now. Anyway, I'm trying to get creative to beat him, and it's all in good fun, but I'm trying to see if you or his mom... I don't know about you guys, but usually siblings have the same mom. You don't have to say anything bad about him, just any funny story will be hilarious. If not, no biggie, but either way, he can't know until the roast or the ruin it. And then he gave her his number. Imagine being so bad at comedy, you ask women for advice.
We fucked, but she wouldn't do it. All right, John is what I would consider a showered Indian. He doesn't got that 7-Eleven money though, because his dad walked out when he was really early to go get a pack of hookahs or whatever. But it's okay, he can still listen to all their phone calls because they were all recorded for quality assurance.
Yeah, give it up to the mastermind behind the reusable bath towels in the bathroom.
We watched those.
Yeah, it saves money in the long run, Scott. Disgusting. Anyway, just like your now ex-wife, my sister's not answering any of your calls. Because unlike you, the bond of family still means something to us. He even tried to follow my girlfriend and DM her asking for information, and she didn't respond either because obviously she loves me. You remember what that feels like, right?
John, you guys might recognize John as like the type of person who yawns while his girlfriend's talking. John, this isn't a joke, you just make being smart look awful. It looks like a terrible existence, and I would hate to have that, so.
Okay, all your friends work for you.
You build signs.
Just Scott and the fat one, but anyway, Scott, what's your name? Rob flies cargo planes for the U.S. military. So unlike the real heroes getting their legs blown off in Kandahar, Rob is getting his back blown out in the supply closet.
I have to fly planes. Last time we let your people do it, you guys hit 2 buildings. Am I right? You know what I'm saying? John is Indian, and surprisingly, he doesn't like non-white women. But that's okay, because he's dating a white woman, and I've seen her, and he is a good boyfriend because he thinks all cows are sacred.
Classic.
Listen, Rob's Italian, so if he did 9/11, he'd just fly into like a black community. Like most closeted gay men, Rob was inspired to enlist in the military after watching Top Gun, which is ironic because he's clearly a body. A few good men come in his mouth. Give it up for all queer on the Western Front. I wrote a bunch. Puts the hack in Hacksaw Ridge. Black cock down his throat. Jojo faggot. All right, it's more of a Holocaust movie, but anyway.
John, you're like fuck. Can someone help me? Can someone look under their chair and pull out my John manual, please? Anyone? Just anyone in there? Can anyone just look under their chair and grab their John manual?
Hold on.
Yeah, if you can just look in your John manual. If someone could just please like slowly turn to page 11 and remind me what my joke is, my last joke. Could someone just remind me?
If John is half Italian.
Okay, what did it say it again?
If John is half Italian and half Indian, what's John's favorite sandwich?
A panini. Everybody now. You gotta take those home. They were $7 each.
Worth it, Rigo. Worth it.
This is why we can't afford paper towels.
Yeah. Stop trying to destroy the rainforest.
You spelled my fucking name wrong.
Yeah, it's fine. No one cares.
You retard. Alright, but listen, your military experience should feel familiar to this roast because you thought you could pick on a smaller, poorer, brown opponent and you still got your shit pushed in. You fought for a lie.
Number one this week, the fourth and final playoff city, New York City, the champion John Ajota going up against Rob Rigo. They were not afraid to take risks in this battle. John has been one of my favorites all season in terms of just like thinking in a way that so many people don't. We see so many cookie cutter, like follow the formula type of writers. And for John to just like take those risks, like the long buildup about reading the email to his sister and like, imagine you're so bad you ask a woman for advice. Like,
he makes the mundane funny. He makes a hack premise or a surface level premise, like he flips it on its head. He's a very dynamic battler. He might be one of my favorites all year.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I mean, he's the champ for a reason. He came down here, battled at Vulcan. He was incredible. And Rob Rigo, it was explained to me, just owns the venue.
That's awesome. By the way, shout out Rob Rigo. Fuck yeah.
His only battle of the year, he was just like, yeah, I want to take on the champ.
And the champ said yeah.
And the champ said yeah.
Wild.
You got in LA, that would be like a whole thing. No, you gotta put in 6 years before you get the they don't care.
New Yorkers don't give a fuck.
Yeah, let's just have fun.
They'll fight a rat.
Yeah, for
This
sure.
rat's talking shit, I'll fucking roast this rat.
Bro, printing up $7 a piece times however many that building's. Just so fun. All to build to Panini. I mean, a lot of fun.
Yeah, Miss Grove 34 his whole October rent just to do that bit.
Yeah, and worth it.
Yeah,
I think
totally,
100% worth it.
Oh man, shout out Rob Rigo. Good shit, Rob.
Yeah, a lot of fun, and a couple of the battles I felt like were a little bit more like tense and aggressive kind of this week. It was cool to close it with just two guys who were having like just a blast up there.
I mean, Ajota is just such a Tyson though, man. That was like those are the best jokes we've heard this whole episode. I mean, like it shows why he's the truth out there.
Yeah, he's a hell of a writer, hell of a performer. Really owns his style up there. And now he and Rob Rigo got New York into the playoffs. So we're set. The field is set. The final battle of the final week sets the playoff field. LA, New York, Scotland, London. We'll be talking about it more in depth next week, of course, as we figure out who the four battlers are. But just immediate gut reaction. What do you think?
It makes sense. I mean, we were in Austin a lot this year, so you would thought that Austin would come in and pull it out at the end. I was hoping they would because it's just fun out here.
Sure.
We like all the guys out here and ladies. In Chicago, I thought Chicago was going to be a dark horse and kind of sneak into that number 2 spot, but New York is consistent, man. I mean, they've been with us since year 1, year 2 kind of a thing. So it makes sense that it's going to be us versus them, and then obviously our UK people, the London and Scotland. So sorry, Ireland. Yeah, the UK is fucking on top again.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? If anybody out there in Ireland, you guys have a roast battle scene, hit me up. We're always looking to expand.
If you want to bomb the Scotland and UK scene, let us know.
metaphorically.
Yeah, right. It's not the Troubles.
Yeah, I mean, we alluded to it a little bit last week. New York and London were on board from the beginning this season. Let's face it, this was the first season. We're kind of figuring it out as we go. It wasn't even until halfway through that we could commit to having a championship.
Right.
So I think, week 4, week 5, cities are like, wait, what are we doing? When do I have to send you guys a battle? Oh, I missed it,
I feel like XFL season 1.
Yeah. And then mid-season it went from XFL to, I'm not going to say NFL, but,
a merger of USFL and XFL. It felt like, this might get a season number 2 or 3.
It went from Vince McMahon XFL to The Rock XFL, and next season NFL. I think teams are going to approach the season a lot differently next year. I think it's going to be a thing in their world because, let's face it, you got a lot going on just running a show in whatever city you're in.
Oh, yeah.
And now you're like, wait, I'm part of a global league. How do I think next year teams are going to be right from the jump on board with everything. And then even, New York and Chicago both ran like mega shows after the season ended.
Oh, yeah.
Chicago ran an incredible show. The lineup was unbelievable the day after the season ended.
Right.
As part of the festival. And I understand why you're doing that. But I think next year, if they're like, wait, can we move it up a day? Get it into the season? So I think it was a good learning experience, but ultimately LA, New York, London, and Scotland are going to be the 4 cities. Next week, we will talk about who will be representing those cities. 34 weeks down, we did it, man. We got to the end of the season. Exciting stuff.
It's the U.S. versus the UK again. Let's fucking beat them like we did in 1776.
That's what I'm saying.
Fuck those guys.
Yeah, dude.
I'm kidding. We love you, London, Scotland.
I'm not kidding.
Please,
this
keep
entire
sending
season.
battles.
This entire season was just an excuse to fly you guys out here and beat the shit out of you.
But outstanding season, man. What, 12 cities? Global wide?
12 cities, 7 countries, 4 continents, over 1,200 battles, over 1,000 different battlers.
Crazy.
Thank you to everybody who was involved in making this happen. The people who run the scenes out there, the people who are battling, the people who are running cameras, anybody who has contributed in any way. We set out with an absolutely insane goal to build a worldwide insult sport with very little budget, and because of all you guys, we were able to make it happen, and the best times are still to come, man. I'm excited.
Biggest shit-talking league in the world, and you guys made it happen, and now we're down to the final 4 cities, who are the biggest shit-talking cities in the world. London, Glasgow or Edinburgh, Scotland,
Yep.
New York City, and Los Angeles. It's fitting.
It's going to be great. It's going to be great. When can we tell them the venue?
Not telling them, pal. We got to keep them going. We got to keep them. Yeah, we got to keep.
We're gonna make you guys wait
them.
for it. Yeah, we're gonna make you guys wait for it. But we have a date. We have a venue. We have the 4 cities, and I'm really excited about it. Congrats to the 4 cities that have advanced. And yeah, do you got anything else? What do you want to plug?
Geez, we have anything else this year? We've got San Diego, December 6th.
Yep.
Right, and then I guess we got to pick 2 new cities for next year.
I mean, a lot of my off season will be, frankly, having conversations with different cities who want to be a part of this, both United States and worldwide. So again, if you're watching this and you're like, we have a roast battle show, let me know. If you're in a different city and you want to be part of this thing, let me know. I'm willing to, I had
Peru, Chile, Antarctica, Colorado's Penguins.
Dude, I had a Zoom with Boise, Idaho, bro. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I'll talk to any of you guys.
Istanbul hit us up.
Istanbul did.
We're into war-torn countries. Fucking hit us up. We'll go anywhere. Fiji.
Roast battle Ukraine?
Yeah, we'll battle. No, we're not going to.
No Ukraine.
No, but we will battle in the middle of a fucking volcano. We're ready.
Yeah,
we're
ready
to
do
roast.
It. Absolutely. Yep, San Diego, the first Wednesday of every month, every Tuesday in the Belly Room. If you're in LA, make sure to follow us on Instagram at Roast Battle. Follow me at RBL Commish. That's where you find all of the latest news and the links to get tickets if you want to see a roast battle in your city. Thank you to Brian Moses for joining me and making this happen. Thank you to you guys for watching. We'll be back next week as we preview the playoffs for the first time on RBL Weekly. See you guys then.